Why you keep replaying the same conversation in your head. The psychology of mental loops. The pattern interrupt. Have you ever had a 5-minute conversation only to spend the next 5 hours replaying it in your mind? You analyze every word, every facial expression, every pause, wondering what you should have said differently. If this sounds familiar, you're not overthinking because you're weak. Your brain may be trapped in a mental loop that mistakes analysis for protection. The mind care revelation. Your mind doesn't replay conversations because it enjoys making you anxious. It replays them because it believes that if it analyzes them enough, it can prevent future pain. The problem is that endless analysis rarely creates clarity. It usually creates emotional exhaustion. The reflection. What if the conversation you're replaying isn't the real problem? What if your brain is trying to solve an emotional wound that the conversation simply triggered? Why your brain refuses to let go. Your brain is a prediction machine. Its job is to keep you safe. When something feels emotionally important, it stores it. Then it replays it. Not because it enjoys suffering, but because it thinks there's still something to learn. It asks, did I say the wrong thing? Did they misunderstand me? Do they still like me? What if I ruined everything? The replay feels productive, but often it's just your brain searching for certainty where certainty doesn't exist. The hidden need for closure. Not every conversation ends with resolution. Sometimes people leave you guessing. Sometimes they don't explain themselves. Sometimes they stop replying. Sometimes they change without warning. Your brain hates unfinished stories, so it tries to finish them itself. The problem? It usually fills the gaps with fear, not facts. Overthinking is often emotional self-protection. Many people think overthinking means they're highly analytical. Sometimes it's actually self-protection. If your brain believes that making one mistake could lead to rejection, it becomes hyper-alert. It studies every interaction. It searches for danger. It prepares for disappointment. This isn't because you're broken. It's because your nervous system has learned to expect emotional pain. You can't think your way into peace. Here's the trap. The more anxious you feel, the more you think. The more you think, the more possibilities you create. The more possibilities you create, the more anxious you become. It's a loop. And loops don't end through more thinking. They end through acceptance. Accepting that not every question has an answer. Not every silence has a meaning. Not every awkward moment becomes a disaster. The difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection asks, what can I learn? Rumination asks, what if I never stop thinking about this? Reflection leads to growth. Rumination leads to paralysis. Healthy reflection has an ending. Rumination keeps moving the finish line. If you've already learned the lesson, your mind doesn't need another replay. Teaching your brain that you're safe. The nervous system learns through experience. When you resist every uncomfortable thought, it grows stronger. When you notice the thought without following it, your brain slowly realizes, I don't need to solve this right now. Peace isn't the absence of thoughts. It's the ability to let thoughts come without letting them take control. The mind care shift. The next time you catch yourself replaying a conversation, pause. Instead of asking, what did I do wrong? Ask, what emotion is my brain trying to protect me from? That one question changes everything. Because healing begins when you stop arguing with the thought and start listening to the feeling underneath it. Final reflection. Not every conversation deserves permanent space in your mind. Not every awkward moment defines your worth. Not every misunderstanding needs endless investigation. Some chapters close without perfect explanations. And that's okay. Your peace is too valuable to be held hostage by conversations that ended days ago. Sometimes the healthiest sentence you can say to yourself is, "I've thought about this enough. I choose to let my mind rest." Because real healing doesn't come from finding the perfect answer. It comes from freeing yourself from the need to keep searching for one.